Today's video, how the Berlin Wall worked.
We are Greg and Lisa, an American couple living abroad in Spain. If you're curious about the crazy, funny, and surprising differences between the US and Europe, you came to the right place. This is, who's this? Neo. All right. Got a lot of subscribers, I see. We will include a link in the description so you can go and support Neo, be another subscriber. So, yeah. What do you think about this one?
I'm a little scared because it's history. Okay, so when the Berlin Wall fell, this is going to date us a little bit, but I don't remember. This is also going to date us of when it actually fell. Reagan was president.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
In the U.S. I honestly, if I'm being completely honest, the history that I know of it from back when I was not even in high school yet, or somewhere around there, was coming from songs like Phil Collins, and certain people had songs that were talking about the fall of the Berlin Wall, and all I know is that it divided Germany from east and west.
So you're trying to be nice, or are you trying to be like, you don't want to just come out and say it? I would say I don't know nothing about it.
I don't know beyond that.
Yeah, so I'm just saying I don't know anything really about the Berlin Wall. All I know is that Reagan said, "Gorbachev, tear down that wall." That's all I know. I'm just being
and that
honest.
It was a huge deal. But I think we were young, so we weren't fully involved and into news and stuff like that when it happened. So this is going to be exciting and interesting to get.
I just think we're Americans, because in America you don't know those kind of things.
Oh, I'm 100%. Everybody here in Europe probably you knew all of this. You knew exactly what was going on. But this is just us being honest as citizens of the United States. We didn't know. I'm embarrassed.
I ain't know nothing. I know you're embarrassed because you don't want to just come out and say it. But I want to. Okay, anyway, why are we wasting time?
I don't know. Just go.
Okay, just go.
Imagine having to split a city into two completely separate parts. Roads that used to connect are now dead ends. Your job on the other side of the city inaccessible. And the neighbor across the street that you used to see daily, you will perhaps never speak to him again. The Berlin Wall did exactly that, separating East and West for almost 30 years. For this video, I've animated the various developments.
30 years?
Did you say 30 years or 40?
It was hard to understand him. I think you said 30.
Let's see.
To him again. The Berlin Wall did exactly that, separating East and West for almost 30 years. For this video, I've animated the various development stages of the wall in order to understand the design of this unique piece of architecture. This is how the Berlin Wall worked.
Cool. Good intro.
Living in Berlin before the wall was built was a strange life. You could move around the entire city freely, but you were either an East Berliner or a West Berliner. After the Second World War,
did you see that it was British? You were leaving the British. Oh, right there. You're leaving the British sector. So the British had some type of control.
Yeah.
I think of the West.
Yeah.
Okay. Now we're not sure. Okay.
A strange life. You could move around the entire city freely, but you were either an East Berliner or a West Berliner. After the Second World War, the victorious nations had divided the German city into several parts.
The
Soviet...
What?
UK, France, it's all divided. So this is East, Soviet Union controlled, United States controlled, UK, France. Okay. Did not know that.
Wow.
I wish you would zoom out a little so we could see it a little bit better.
That occupation zone ultimately became the territory of East Germany, a socialist state, and the western part of Berlin remained legally occupied. But in all practicality, it belonged to West Germany, a capitalist state.
Okay.
Socialism and capitalism, two different nations, and even two different currencies, separated only by streets. Trains connecting the different parts of the city would make announcements. Next station, last stop in the eastern zone. Many people lived in one part of the city but worked in the other. East Berliners took jobs in the West in order to benefit from the stronger currency. while West Berliners got their haircuts in the East at prices that were much cheaper to them. And in a way, both systems tried to outdo the other. In West Berlin, a multitude of stores sprang up on the Kurfürstendamm Street, shop windows filled with the latest brand name products of Western consumer culture. While just a few streets away in East Berlin, there was Stalinallee, a street that was transformed into a boulevard full of buildings in the style of socialist classicism. But this open coexistence of two systems wouldn't last long. On the 13th of August 1961, Berlin woke up to a divided city.
Okay, 1961.
Yeah.
Okay.
13th of August.
13th of August, okay.
Right.
13th of August 1961, Berlin woke up to a divided city. The East German government closed the border, which means that families were split apart. Though
I wonder if they knew, did you all know this was about to happen? Or just all of a sudden we woke up and they're starting the construction?
It sounds like they just woke up.
It sounded like it from this video. And that's why people are crying, because it's like, oh my God, what the heck?
Right. Wow.
Government closed the border, which means that families were split apart. Though officially stating that this was necessary to protect their country, it was an effort to stop their own citizens from fleeing to the West, where opportunities, wages, and freedoms seemed greater.
Oh, so they were stopping them from transferring over, working over here. And
I see. So they did it as a way to
control.
Yeah, and force them to work in the East. Wow.
Fleeing to the West, where opportunities, wages, and freedoms seemed greater. At the start, this was just a wall.
So that's interesting. So they probably saw it as like a threat to because everybody from the East was going to the West with jobs and everything. So it's probably ruining their economy. I mean, I don't know. I'm just trying to piece it all together.
Maybe there's probably so much more to this. We're being superficial. But yeah.
That's true. But I mean, we're just trying to piece together what we're seeing.
A name. It mostly consisted of fences and loose pieces of barbed wire, manned by guards. There were some unguarded stretches, and it was even possible to jump across.
Oh, wow.
To make escaping more difficult, construction immediately began on a more permanent wall, made out of concrete. And
man, escaping means that you're, like, you can't leave.
Like prison type stuff. I mean, you can't leave if you are escaping.
Yeah, wow.
Construction immediately began on a more permanent wall, made out of concrete. And
I mean, we did know it was bad. We knew the Soviet Union was bad.
Yeah.
I mean, even at that young age, we knew.
Right.
Construction immediately began on a more permanent wall, made out of concrete, and topped off with barbed wire coil around a Y-shaped metal arm. But this is not how the wall looked everywhere. A shortage of building materials meant that in the first years, just 10% of the border was built like this. And there was another issue. Sometimes the border between West and East Berlin went straight through housing blocks. Houses that now had to become part of the wall. The East German authorities forced people out of their homes and filled the windows with bricks.
Oh my God.
Sometimes, however, they would forget a window.
So they force people out of their home. Like, where'd they go? I guess
just find somewhere else. I don't know.
Wow. I'm really amazed by this. It's just amazing how.
Yeah.
I don't know.
All this is happening in your lifetime.
Yeah.
But
it's just so crazy. Like I have, well, as most of you know, I have like my football channel that I'm doing. And I've seen all these amazing players and stuff. And it's just amazing to me that this stuff was going on in the world. And we were just existing. Like, you know, back then there wasn't no cable with CNN and all this stuff. True. And so you didn't even know all these things were happening. It's just crazy.
That's true. That's true. Yeah. We were limited. We didn't have internet.
Yeah.
We had our, you know, TV with the bunny ears and, you know, and 3 channels and stuff like that. So we didn't really know what was going on.
Yeah. But that's true. Like, but I'm just so grateful, like almost a little emotional that we have this channel where all of these people are like helping us
Yeah, we need you guys
to learn these things. We know you don't have to take an interest in what we talk about, but it just means a lot. So let me go before I start crying.
I know.
Sometimes, however, they would forget a window.
Yeah, what does that mean?
On August 17, 1962, Peter Fechter discovers one such house, making up part of the wall.
Oh no.
Peter is frustrated with
I'm sorry, but they were, so these houses were a part of the wall.
Oh, they turned a part of the wall.
Yeah, were the houses.
Like
this house was a part of that divide. So they probably had like a fence that led up to the house. And then that's a part of the wall. And then on this side of it was the other part of the fence.
That's how I'm imagining it.
Yeah. Okay.
Such house, making up part of the wall. Peter is frustrated with the East German government as they won't let him see his sister that lives on the other side of the wall. Together with his colleague Helmut, he fantasizes about an escape to the west. The two of them see people inside the house, and in order not to be noticed, they take off their shoes and quietly creep in. By sheer luck, they quickly find the open window, and from here, they have a clear view of the road to freedom. A fence, then a clear strip, and finally a wall. It seems doable, except for the fact that they are in plain sight of the nearby border guards. Suddenly, they hear voices behind them, and it is now or never. Peter and Helmut jump out of the window and climb the first fence. Then they are spotted, and immediately the guards open fire.
Oh no!
Helmut dashes across the strip through a haze of bullets. As he scales the wall, he looks back and he sees his friend Peter frozen in place. The guards are closing in further, and they will have a clear shot soon. Helmut screams, and Peter finally springs into action. He makes it across the strip, but as he jumps up to scale the wall, he is hit mid-air and slumps down.
Oh no.
Helmut can't help his friend. An entire 50 minutes passes as a crowd of onlookers gathers to see Peter lying on the ground, slowly dying at the base of the wall.
Wow.
Tragic stories like Peter Fechter's were widely covered in the West. But for the East German authorities, the only lesson learned was to increase the wall.
Wow.
I'm surprised they didn't publicize on the East, hey, look what could happen to you if you tried to escape.
I mean, they may have.
They may have. I mean, he just said that they publicized it on the West. They didn't. I don't know.
Lesson learned was to increase the wall.
Oh, increase the wall.
Over the course of decades, the wall is consistently upgraded, with more and more increasing security features. What once was a single wall soon became a brutal border strip, cutting the city further and further apart. As improvements to the wall were made, escape attempts shifted to new methods, and the
hold up. We weren't even born.
Yeah, no, we weren't.
Well, you were born right there.
Yeah.
Now you know how old Gregory is.
Yeah, that's true. We weren't born yet.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, he said it was
30 years.
30 years.
30 or 40, we're not sure.
It had to be 30 because it started in 1961. 30 years would be 91.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So it's probably it couldn't have been 40 because that had been 2001.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think I graduated high school in 91. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
That's right.
Oh.
As improvements to the wall were made, escape attempts shifted to new methods, and the wall would be expanded again. A back and forth that was repeated until the last version of the wall was built. The version of the wall that became famous. From 1975 on, the East German authorities rolled out this version of the wall. A border virtually impossible for anyone to cross.
Wow.
And this is how it generally worked. Coming from the east, only the visual barrier made of concrete slabs can be seen. This was done so that the exact border fortifications are not visible, as this knowledge could be used to plan escape attempts.
Oh, so they would be on this side of the wall looking at that. And
thinking
then,
they only have to scale one wall.
Yeah. Or not knowing like what is on the other side. Is there a guard over there? What's happening? So it made it to where.
So they would be shocked if they jumped over the first one and was like, oh, crap.
Yeah. Wow.
Visible, as this knowledge could be used to plan escape attempts. Just behind this barrier, the ground is covered in so-called Stalin's grass. These are mats made of steel needles that would pierce the foot of anyone trying to jump across.
Oh, damn.
Next up is a signal fence consisting of barbed wire stretched over concrete posts. Anyone trying to scale this fence would quickly press the wires together, triggering an alarm and notifying the guards in a nearby watchtower.
Damn.
Watchtowers were manned 24/7 by 2 to 5 soldiers.
Wow.
These soldiers had a clear view of the whole border, with orders to shoot anyone on sight. Trying to use brute force to break these sections would not work either, as behind the signal fence are several rows of tank traps, barring anyone from driving through with a vehicle. In the middle of this border zone is a path for soldiers to patrol the area, oftentimes accompanied by dogs. And behind this is...
So they basically just turned East Germany into a prison. Just like that. It's like you just went from being free, I suppose, because you still could go on either side. So just you in jail.
Holy
crap. Like you still can go to your house and everything, but like you locked in. That's it. Wow. I wonder if they could travel. Like I wonder what life was like in East Germany. That'd be interesting.
Yeah, it would be.
Sometimes accompanied by dogs. And behind this is the so-called death strip, a stroke of dirt stretching for miles in every direction, in full sight of the guard towers. Hiding is impossible. And if anyone somehow made it past here, they reach a part that is easily recognizable, the wall facing the western side. In contrast to the old wall, these elements had a foot-shaped bottom, which meant that no holes in the ground were needed for their construction. And instead of barbed wire on top, there were now pipes made of asbestos concrete. These pipes provided stability for the wall elements, and the East German authorities also hoped that they would decrease the prison camp feeling of the previous wall.
Wow.
But this was not the only reason for the change. The new concrete used was extremely smooth, with nothing to grasp onto. One thing the authorities didn't consider, however, is that this smoothness made the wall an easy target for graffiti from the western side. Graffiti that would dominate many of the 45,000 elements that were placed in Berlin. Artworks that would often mock the East German government.
Did he say how long the wall was?
Oh, no.
Like how many miles?
Not that I remember hearing.
In Berlin. Artworks that would often mock the East German government resulted in an open gallery of sorts, highlighting the harsh difference between life in the West, where free artistic expression was possible, and life in the East, where this was unthinkable. Exact numbers of victims from this wall are disputed, and it is something that to this day is being researched. But over the years, it was many who, just like Peter Fechter, were hoping for a better life on the other side of the wall.
Oh, man.
Oh, there's more. Okay.
Of the wall.
Oh, wow. Oh, man. Wow. That is amazing.
But the Berlin Wall was only a small part of the division of Germany. In addition to Berlin, the whole country was also divided into 2 parts, and some people made daring attempts, risking their lives to try to get to freedom. For example, the 2 friends...
You understand that?
He said it was other parts were divided.
Yeah. Here, I want to hear that again.
Okay.
But the Berlin Wall was only a small part of the division of Germany. In addition to Berlin, the whole country was also divided into two parts.
Oh, because Berlin is just that the capital. And now he's saying it's divided over there. Okay.
And some people made daring attempts, risking their lives to try to get to freedom. For example, the two friends Günter Wetzel and Peter Strelzik, who wanted to build a better life for themselves in the West. And after coming across an article about hot air balloons, an insane plan was born. The two decided to build their own homemade hot air balloon to escape across the border. After everything is sewn together, the burner is started and the balloon takes off.
Oh, wow.
It's not gonna work, is it?
But then, immediately after taking off, a huge hole is torn in the top of the balloon, and they could crash to the ground from over 6,000 feet. I made a complete video about this spectacular balloon escape, with some of my most elaborate animations and illustrations. And I was able to interview Günther for this project, who told me how the daring escape attempt went.
Plötzlich kamen vom Boden 3 Scheinwerferstrahlen auf uns zu. Und nach kurzer Zeit ist auch unsere Flamme ausgegangen.
This documentary is part of my ongoing Nebula original series Underexposure, in which I create higher budget productions, such as my video about the Bin Laden raid, with detailed animations exploring how the raid unfolded, or my video about the Tenerife disaster, the worst aviation accident that ever happened. Videos that are not made for the YouTube algorithm, but unrushed storytelling. Nebula is a creator-owned streaming service where the likes of Johnny Harris, Wendover Productions, Real Life Lore, or The Present Past post their videos early, ad-free, and create higher-budget originals. The Present Past actually wrote the script for this very video with me, and he has his own fantastic video out about all the different borders in the world, which I would highly recommend checking out. So go to nebula.tv/Neo and make sure that you use that very link so that you get 40% off on an annual plan. All my exclusive videos are up there. So thanks for the support and thanks so much for watching this video.
Oh, it's over.
Oh, cool. Oh, man. Wow.
That was shocking.
Oh,
like
man.
The spikes and how it was like we saw the Berlin Wall, that the one side that had the graffiti.
Right.
And I guess I just imagined that was it.
Yeah.
So it's super shocking that it was.
So it's interesting. So basically, the West Germany had more freedoms, probably was the more liberal. And
he called it something.
Yeah. And in East Germany, they were like,
communist.
We don't want our people to have those freedoms and make more money and all that. So like, we're stopping everything.
They just wanted control of everything. And I don't know.
So I think it'd be a good video one day, maybe if somebody has this, of just like, have there been any long-term ramifications? Like, are there still, you know,
on the East?
In West? I mean, it's like what has life been like with the change?
Because it hasn't really in history been that long.
Right.
So there has to be still something lingering, or feelings or something there.
Well, I definitely want to watch more videos on this. So if anybody out there has any other suggestions or anything on these types of videos, let us know. This is super interesting.
Yeah, fascinating, shocking.
Wow. All right. Yeah. Oh, wait, hold on. Let's take a look and see what people have to say. Sorry, I was about to sign off, but maybe somebody else has something to say here. Okay. The long-standing difference between the two sides of the wall is crazy to see. There are many statistics in which you can still see the divide where the wall used to stand.
Oh, you can still see it.
Oh, wow.
That would be cool.
That would be cool.
See that.
As John F. Kennedy put it, democracy is not perfect, but we have never had to put a wall up to keep our people in. Yeah. All right.
These are all long.
These are all long here. Let me see. I've watched countless videos about the Berlin Wall over the years, but it still blows my mind every time. The way it physically and psychologically split a city and generations is just unbelievable. It's a powerful reminder of how real-world borders can shape human lives in the most profound ways.
Wow.
All right, man, this was a really good video. I'm glad we watched
Yeah.
this. So there's more where that came from. So until next time, thank you for stopping by, and we will see you on the next video. Peace.
Bye.